it's Kim here from KMA Accountancy, and I want to talk to you about marginal gains, the 1%. Might seem a strange title, but I was listening to David Brailsford, who you may remember was behind the British cycling team and the British Tour de France team. And in fact, he's credited with being the manager of the most successful GB cycle team of all time, but especially in the last 10 years. And it would be fair to say that a lot of the overseas cycle managers were very keen to find out what he'd actually done. Now, David had a really big goal. He wanted to turn around the British cycle team and wanted to make a British rider effectively successful and win the Tour de France. So what he did with obviously his advisors was he looked at what he needed to do in order to win and what that meant in terms of times, and worked it backwards and worked out that just small marginal gains in different areas would all added together make a massive impact. So he looked at, for example, not only the fitness of the riders, how they trained, the ergonomics, the weights of the tyres, the nutrition of the riders, their training programs, their fitness. He also looked at their sleep positions and what they needed to do to have a good night's sleep. So, for example, when they were in hotels, they would take their own pillows with them because they slept better on those than on hotel pillows. And even to the point of looking at the massage gels that they used and teaching the riders how to wash their hands properly, which might seem really, really odd. But obviously it meant that they didn't get ill as often because they didn't pick up the bugs. And so they were able to train better. And this really worked because back in 2012, at the London Olympics, the Team GB picked up 70% of all the gold medals in cycling and, in fact, have won the Tour de France with a British rider. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's all well and good, but how does that affect business? Sometimes we get lost in the enormity of our goals and it becomes all-encompassing and we feel that it's really difficult to achieve them because they're just too big. It might be, for example, you want to increase your turnover by 100,000 and you can't think how you're going to do that from a standing start. Whereas if you actually broke those down and stopped thinking about the enormity and thought about, let's just make small tweaks and small changes across a number of areas on a daily basis, you'd be able to achieve it. For example, if you wanted to increase your profitability of your business, what you could do is look at the numbers of customers, look at the price that you're charging the customers, look at what customers are buying from you and tweak how often they're buying, also tweak what they're buying from you and get them to perhaps buy a little bit more each time. If you start to break this down into lots of small tweaks, you'd find that over time you'll make massive progress and those big goals won't nearly be anywhere near as scary. So that's it from Kim at KMA Accountancy, the most recommended and referred accountant in South Manchester and Cheshire.